Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. I did a video early. I've actually done two videos on this, but I did one earlier where I changed it around these leaves. And then somebody asked, well, how did they draw those lines in their round caps? And so all I did is make two lines that are pretty close to his line. His lines are a little bit of an angle, which I don't understand. But I made two lines. And then I'm going to go, easiest way you could contour them, the easiest way, since you want that one to be the start and the stop, is go to Effects and Blend. And we need 9 lines. We've already got 2, so we're going to blend 7 times. Then we're going to go to Object and break the blend apart. And then we're going to go to Object and group and ungroup them again for a second. Now we need to make them a little bit thicker. So I'm going to say that they are, you know what, let me make them black. And let's make them 2 points. This is way too big. Let's say a half a point. Tell you what we can do is bring this one over here. And now, if you realize I didn't want to do that because I need to nudge. So they're not quite thick enough, so make sure you grab all the lines, and we're going to make them 1 point. That's pretty good. That's maybe a little bit too thick. But then I would group these together, Control G. And then this time we're just going to do the angle, kind of like they've got. Tell you what, let's make them yellow for a second and move those over so we can actually see the black behind them. And you can even go more by going to the transparency tool and make that yellow really light. Look at that. My lines are pretty close. That dips in, it kind of bothers me, but I'm going to take a 2-point line and I'm just going to go from there to that center and then go. I would probably want to go at a right angle, and that's not. So maybe the best thing to do would be to bring in a square that would have right angles and put it up there, and if we have to, we could spin it. That's really pretty close, but we want to spin it from this point right here. See, and so now I'm going through that same line. Now we're a little bit off on the length, so let's just try to move it a little bit. As long as these two lines are in the right spot. Now, because we're working in the center of the page, we could Control D and make a duplicate of that and move the rotation of the center, and then rotate this guy down. Well, maybe that's not going to work. Maybe I wasn't on the center. Let me get because I don't know if this logo is centerable. Well, don't do that. Indexing lines. Yeah, this wasn't in the center of that. So I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate, then move the center rotation to here now. See if it is, and it is. And then rotate it down to this. Oh, that's going to work. Now we could do both sides, but I'm just going to do one side. Now we could take away we took away a line, so let's put it back in black. Whoop. Well, they don't look very black. Somehow they changed back to a hairline. I think we went with 1 point. Oh, that's what it is. I didn't have black. Why does that? Oh, remember we did the transparency? I've still got the transparency on. So now we're good. And then because we've nudged, we can nudge our boxes right over. And you actually probably would be safer to nudge this out of the way and nudge this back to the center. And then Control D and make a duplicate of these guys. And if you look, this might be harder than I think it is. And you know what? There might be too many copies. I didn't group them together. Control G, Control D to duplicate them. I don't think we can mirror them. But I'll tell you what we can do. We made a duplicate. We could put them over here. And I'm pretty sure that this logo would be the same. Tell you what, let me make the logo in yellow. And I'm really making a mess of this because I didn't rotate these enough, but you can rotate them. You know what, I'm not really looking at the line. So maybe the logo isn't the same. I'm almost thinking that if we bring in an indexing line, no, it's hitting the top. Hitting the top of the leaf. So it should be the same. Oh, there's my group. Oh, I know what I was thinking a while ago. I was thinking I was down into the flower, and the flower doesn't really matter because I want to be on top of the flower. So now I can rotate it to the top of the flower. There we go. And that's right, because the top of the flower and the top of the, I was thinking the box was cutting into the logo, but it's not. And now we can just move these, don't ever move them, nudge them. Now what we can do is just take the virtual segment delete key and delete that, and actually delete them inside of our box. And they're still, if we hold down the Alt key, it'll help us give a straight line. I think it'll look pretty cool. Now, somebody might be asking, well, how are you going to make them round end caps? Well, we haven't done anything to make them not a line. So let's just nudge that out of the way, and we should be able to do it as a group. Go to your pen tool. Well, I got to have something selected. Okay, I got to go up to Object probably and ungroup them, and then probably have to select it all and break the curve apart. Well, that's weird, because that's a group. Let me nudge that out of the way. There it is, break the curve apart. I wouldn't think I'd have to do that for every one of them. But, well, everyone's a single line. You think you could do this and break the curve apart, but no. And if you had to do this a lot, you could Control K. So I'm going to put my hand on Control, which is easier said than done. Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K, Control K. Now we have individual. Now you could take all these lines and double click on your pen tool and give them round end caps. And look at that. I must have missed one. We'll grab that one by its, okay. I didn't Control K it. So let's go ahead and give that one round end cap. And you can also hit F12 and bring up your board. I'm not doing a very good job of this. And now you have, if we move the logo over, we take away, well, let's forget that. Let's make it black lines, and let's get rid of these lines. Well, remember before we were having, earlier video, we were having trouble because that was really connected to the leaf. So I'm not going to go there, but I showed you how to, make the leaf. Well, let's just do it. If you're bored, just quit watching. Because one of these leaves is connected to a line. And yeah, they're connected to two lines. As a matter of fact, let's just do this. Let's nudge that over. Let's left click, right click. And let's just do the same thing we did earlier in the video by taking some lines, 3-point curve lines, probably the best, and fill in these gaps. I'm not taking too much time. And then earlier in the video, I actually contoured, but we don't have to now because the new way. So now we've got an arrow going up into the leaf. And if we take these other words and nudge them over, matter of fact, we could probably you could probably duplicate that over. But I think if you look at, sorry this is taking so long. If you look at this graphic versus this one, it looks a lot better. And I actually like the one I did earlier where I contoured around it. I like the shape, even the ones that are going toward the lettering over that one. But if that was their logo and you wanted to abide by it, you'd have to just go with it. That's just an idea. Somebody want to know how to draw those lines. Thank you for watching.